Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. We have the Limit Breaker SSJ4s versus a Mega Shenron in Red Zone. This is a video that I've actually recorded multiple times. Like, I have done multiple runs using these units against, but not even just all Red Zone stages, specifically a Mega Shenron. And this is the best possible run I've gotten, and the best possible strat you can use when using the Dragon Ball Heroes units, or specifically in this case the Limit Breaker SSJ4s, when using them against the standard Red Zone boss stages, like not the Dragon Ball Heroes themed one, the hardest hitting bosses in the game. Would this work for like the other ones? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if they could attempt the likes of Broly because of how hard he can hit. I don't think they could attempt Cooler Core. But that's okay. If you expected these guys to be on some of the Dokkan Fest levels we've recently had in Global, as I said when they dropped, you were going to be disappointed. They are still very, very good units. However, in terms of running that like kind of perfect rotation of Limit Breaker SSJ4 GOKU and Vegeta, that you have to split that up. So the first phase, while I was trying to set it up but couldn't because of the annoying like locking mechanics that Shenron does, in the first phase, you can have them two linked up. As I said, I've done multiple runs with them linked up, with them not linked up, separating them. And the best bet is you can start them linked up together, then separate them and have one on each rotation. Or have Goku on rotation and then have like Vegeta flowing. Or Vegeta on the second rotation. It's entirely up to you. In the first phase, you can have them linked up on the same rotation. You know, Goku can tank fairly well against Omega's basics, even pre-Super. Before he raises his attack and defense on Super, because he has the damage reduction, or as long as you have the damage reduction set up with full power and also Dragon Ball Heroes category allies, which in some cases, depending on your team build and who you're facing and who you need to bring, obviously to get that damage reduction cause it's so important, you're probably going to try to accommodate that quite a lot. However, I decided to use units that are viable for Red Zone, but also bring the Year 7 LRSSJ4s along with the Easy A SSJ4 Goku. So every other rotation or so, Goku was without his damage reduction, but I moved him from slot 1 to slot 2, or made sure he was on slot 2, especially on this second phase here. So that way Goku was at least supering first before he got hit, especially when he doesn't have his damage reduction. So in some cases, when it comes to team building, it's just with the Dragon Ball Heroes units, you have to do a lot of kind of checklisting, ticking off all those boxes to make sure every unit is performing at their best. And sometimes that hurts and is a detriment to the team and can easily ruin a run and get you killed. So in some cases, you kind of have to sacrifice that. And in some other cases, you could probably get away with it depending on how lucky your run is or what Red Zone boss you are facing. So yeah, the first phase, you can have them linked up completely fine. As I said, even with his damage reduction and even post-super, or sorry, pre-super, Limit Breaker SSJ4 Goku tanks Omega's first phase like for double digits, literally pre and post-super. Vegeta has type advantage, so he's dealing insane damage, especially when you consider the fact we have all Giant 8 power category allies on the team and Dragon Ball Hero category allies, so he's always getting that guaranteed additional, which means against Omega's first phase with type advantage, he's dealing huge damage, especially with the potential to crit, also the potential hit another additional super. See, the amount of actual combined damage he's doing against Omega in that first phase generally is he's completely battering him, not to mention defensively, even just super attacking twice. He's tanking double digits pre and post super against Omega as well, mainly because of that type advantage. And then, you know, the additional supers just kind of overkill. Now moving on to this phase is where you're probably going to want to split them up, ideally, just because pre-super, even with his damage reduction, even with him, which mine is being rainbowed, Limit Breaker SSJ4 Goku will tank 60-70k on a basic pre-super against the Mega Shenron. Now, I think the misconception, and the same thing happened with Margin Vegeta when he dropped during Saiyan Day months ago near the beginning of the year, was, is he a better slot 1 unit than a lot of the units you can have surrounding Limit Breaker SSJ4 Goku? Yes. Is he ideal for slot 1 though? No. His best defensive setup is his damage reduction, him linked up with Vegeta to get the support. However, I wouldn't really worry about that too much. but that's how he gets, you know, his best defensive setup. You have him linked up with Vegeta, they're both supporting each other, you have the damage reduction for Goku, and then Goku gets the super attack at least once, so he can raise his attack and defense by 30%, which means his best case will be slot 2, which is why we have the Easy 8 SSJ4 Goku here, who I'm actually going to use this run as well, because he is honestly amazing. Probably the best Easy 8 to come out of the Hero Celebration, so I'll be doing another video on him very soon. So if I was to have them on the first phase, I would have them together. And also putting Goku in slot 1 means you can get that additional attack and defense as quick as possible to make sure you get that going into the second phase where Goku's going to really need it. Because even with the additional attack and defense, if you do have him with Vegeta, damage reduction, he's been hit 5 times, he's still taking 60-70k on the basic. So you want to move Goku into slot 2, you either move Limit Breaker SSJ4 Vegeta onto the second rotation, which I did for the sake of the video because we're showcasing both, or you just move him into slot 3. That way you constantly have a flow of, majority of the time anyway, Full Power and Dragon Ball Heroes units constantly circling that third slot. That way Goku's getting his damage reduction more often than not than when he doesn't have it. You know, considering I did bring, you know, the Year 7 LRSSJ4s and also LRSSJ4 Goku with us as well. So that's probably your best bet. Obviously Vegeta has type disadvantage here. With a Whis active off his 2 supers, he did actually tank for just under 400k, which I know is a lot. But considering he has no damage reduction, no guard, and that's raising his attack and defense by 30% twice, that's not bad. With a Whis, he survived with type disadvantage, and that's respectable to me. So then we had SSJ3 Easy A Xeno Goku and the Limit Breaker SSJ4 Goku as a setup, which isn't ideal, but because of the team build I went for, which is pretty much just all SSJ4s apart from Xeno Goku, Goku's always getting that Saiyan Raw Link active, no matter who it is in slot 3, which means he's always maximizing his damage. We were quite lucky here to have no attacks because he doesn't have his damage reduction here, but this is why Xeno Goku's Easy is probably one of the best. Constantly tanking double digits. Goku actually dealing some very good damage. If he hits an additional, like big crit as well, by the way, if he hits an additional, even better, doing even more damage at a turn. If he hits an additional, of course, without the damage reduction, that's going to help him tank a bit more. If he does have the damage reduction and he gets an additional, he's good to go. He's going to tank amazingly, amazingly well. Going to be able to tank supers very, very well as well. But his best slot after phase 1 against the Mega is slot 2 because you need him to super attack first. And now that we're on this phase as well, again, Vegeta has type advantage. And again, considering he's super attacking at least twice a turn, the accumulative damage Vegeta does in 1 turn, especially with type advantage, is generally ridiculous. Like, he's murdering his health bar along with, you know, SSJ4 Gogeta having type advantage as well. And also the possibility of crits, and also the possibility of additionaling second time and super attacking 3 times in 1 turn. So he's tanking Omega's final phase for nothing as well because of the type advantage. Guaranteed 2 super attacks in 1 turn, raising his attack and defense twice by 30%. He's fine. And this is how the setup's going to have to go. I said, does it make him bad? No. Is it a little bit annoying? Yes, because there's no ideal slot 1 unit between the two, and you have to split such a great rotation up. But there are ways around it, and at some points you will have to sacrifice here and there depending on your team build and what units you have. You may have to sacrifice Goku's damage reduction and work around that, and potentially Vegeta's additional, which can hurt them, yes, but as I said, it's workarounds depending on what event you're taking on and how difficult it is and what units you have in your box. But it works because SSJ4 Gohan's amazing. Easy SSJ3 Goku's insane. And then this is the leeway when it comes to the categories they go on. Yes, it's only small leeway, especially when it comes to Vegeta's kind of bonuses, which is Giant 8 Power Category Allies, and he tanked that, by the way, by 82. What a unit. Which is, of course, the Giant 8 Power Category Allies, which do involve the LRSSJ4 Goku and Vegeta, who are one of the best units in the game, and also LRSSJ4 Goku, his Easy A, which is one of the best Easy A's in the game. So you do get some slight leeway in terms of team building and who you have around these two units. And, you know, unfortunately, while they are very, very good, you will have to split the rotation up to make sure that you kind of actually safely beat the run. But even so, that's the detriment of the Heroes units. They are still very good, and they are still good enough to compete in Red Zone. But do let me think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace!